California earthquakes. Big one fears because tremors are adding tension to a major fault line. Recent California earthquakes added more tension to a major fault line, sparking fears of the big one that could strike sooner than later. Sean Martin of Express UK reports, because of the tremendous amount of earthquakes, 100,000 estimated since the Ridgecrest earthquakes, July 4th and 5th, the series of tremors rocked Southern California these past few months, beginning July 4th with the 6.4 foreshock, and the day later 7.1. The earthquakes hit the Mojave Desert east of Los Angeles, and it was followed by the bigger quake, the 6.4, followed by 7.1 the day later. Subsequently, an astonishing 100,000 aftershocks in the following weeks and months, and now researchers have claimed that these aftershocks, these tremors, have increased the tension along the Golet fault, which could result in a major earthquake. This was recently submitted to a paper, I think yesterday, October 29th. When it finally blows, the scientists have warned it will be big. They don't estimate it would be as big as 8 magnitude, but up to 8. The lesser known fault is 160 miles long, the ability to produce an earthquake magnitude of 8 or more. Well, the thing I read was up to 8, but it could be 8 or more, who knows? We have no idea. It already gave 7.1. Now, any shocks generated by the fault, located at the northern edge of the Mojave Desert, would send crippling seismic activity west towards Los Angeles, Ventura, Bakersfield counties. Bill Barnhart is the geologist who submitted this finding at the University of Iowa, lead author of the study. He said a seismic creep tells us that the Golet fault is sensitive to stress changes and that these stress increases across only a limited area of the fault. And so if that's a big if, this area were to slip into a future earthquake, we're showing where that might happen. The Golet fault has been quiet for a very long time, but there's a geologic evidence that there have been large earthquakes on it. It's a major fault line. It's the second largest fault in California after the San Andreas fault. It's perpendicular to the San Andreas. It's going from the San Andreas south of Los Angeles up to Ridgecrest. Now, the research published in the journal Geophysical Research Letters said the earthquake could be around a magnitude 6.7 to 7.0. This is what we saw in July. While this would not be powerful as a big one, the impending massive earthquake, which would one day rock California to the core with a tremor over a 7.8, is still very strong, as we can understand. The magnitude 7 earthquake has the potential to tear down buildings, and the tremor can be felt for up to 250 kilometers away from the epicenter. Now, Barnhart continued that it would be an earthquake of the magnitude of the Ridgecrest sequence. That means it would be big, and you'd feel some swaying in Los Angeles if it were to take place in Ridgecrest, that is. But it would not be a magnitude 7.8 that could be more damaging. California, as we know, is a seismic region of the world. It's a subduction zone, sitting on the San Andreas Fault and the Hayward Fault, the San Jacinto Fault, the Golet Fault, and of course the Walker Lane Fault System. No one seems to be talking about that. That's that's a parallel to San Andreas towards the east. The Walker Lane Fault System takes about 25% of the subduction pressure. San Andreas takes about 75%. Now, the tension has been building up along San Andreas Fault for centuries, and experts predict a ground-splitting earthquake from that fault will come when it finally ruptures. USGS said it will be at least 7.9 on the Richter scale, 7.9 magnitude that is, and it will leave a trail of destruction because that's a big earthquake. Another reason why California is so earthquake prone is sits upon, as we know, the Pacific Ring of Fire. It's the largest, most active fault in the world, stretching from New Zealand around the east coast of Asia, over the Aleutian Islands to Canada, the United States, all the way down to the southern tip of South America, causing more than 90% of the world's earthquakes. These plates which make up the Ring of Fire are so huge, even the slightest shift results in massive tremors and volcanic activities, as we know, and even if they're big enough, tsunamis. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.